Do you think for Cruz, he's talked a lot about, I want to go after Planned Parenthood, I want to go after Obama's executive actions. A lot of his supporters talk about, we want our country back.
Yeah.
Where has the country gone? Maybe I was sleeping.
Okay, I think that a lot of the people who support Cruz see that a lot of their values are under attack. They feel like their values are under attack.
Do you feel that way?
I can certainly see where they're coming from. I do kind of feel that a little bit, yeah. Especially the people who are pro-life, the people who disagree with making gay marriage legal across the country, and I think that people who believe that see some of the changes in the country and they wonder what happened. And they want to go back to a time when things were simpler, when their values weren't under attack.
How is that attacking your values? Nobody's forcing you to go to a gay wedding or, be friends with gay people if you choose not to. There's a separation of church and state, so it would actually be against the Constitution to enact your religious beliefs on everybody else. So how in terms of the gay marriage issue, is your values under attack?
Well, those again. If I believe that gay marriage is immoral, if I believe that marriage is between one man and one woman, and that's been the basis of society for the past 10,000 years, then seeing that we're changing with this bedrock principle of society is going to make me a little bit uneasy.
But there was a bedrock principle that black people should be slaves.
No, there wasn't. Not 10,000 years ago.
Only 150 years ago.
I know, but marriage is much, much older than that.
I happen to be heterosexual, but if I was homosexual, why should law be made that compels me against or for based on your beliefs? That's against separation of church and state.
Okay. What is the main factor determining whether someone's in poverty or whether someone's relatively successful?
There's a lot of factors.
What's one of the primary ones?
The conservative argument would be the family.
No, that's not conservative argument. That's a sociological fact. We can study that people who have two-parent families tend to be better off than those who don't.
Well, now that gay people are allowed to be married, plenty of people have two-parent families.
I'm going to get to that. Okay, so one of the things that then society has a stake in is making sure that we have two-parent families. And a redefinition of marriage, the one that started in the 60s culturally, is one of the things that has led to a deterioration of the family. One of the only ways to ensure that families can't stick together is if we as a society agree that you need a family that sticks together, and you need a man and a woman in that. It's not so much against gay people or people who are homosexual who want to get married as it is trying to encourage people who are heterosexual to stay.
But I don't know where you're coming from, where society decided it needed a man and a woman for that. Your religious readings decided that. Society didn't decide that. Your religion decided that.
Years ago.
Right, that's 10,000 years ago.
And we've done it that way for the past 10,000 years.
Okay, but we're in 2016. So, what is the sociological evidence that a child with two parents that are of the same sex is at a disadvantage than you?
I'm not arguing that.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm arguing that the only way to ensure two-parent families is by keeping a heterosexual union. If we redefine it to include couples with two men or two women, that redefinition is part of what allows us to have maybe one-parent families and to make that much more acceptable and leave those children who are stuck in those one-parent families more.
So are you saying, I'm a little lost, are you saying that there's less gay couples, meaning there would be less parents for children? I'm not following.
No, I'm saying that we would have fewer one-parent families in general, and that redefining marriage to include homosexual unions would make there be less sociological pressure or social pressure on families with a man and a woman.
Why are heterosexual unions at risk because gay people are allowed to get married? If I meet a girl tomorrow, I can still get married.
You're confusing cause and effect. I'm not saying that homosexual unions are responsible for the deterioration of heterosexual marriage. I'm saying that homosexual unions are a consequence of the deterioration of heterosexual unions.
Okay. And do you think that since this is a fairly new occurrence, that gay people can get married less than a year old, there's evidence that children with gay parents can't have a normal upbringing, be happy and healthy mentally and physically?
I'm not saying that, no. But I am saying that we as a society should focus on encouraging the heterosexual unions, and that a legal redefinition of marriage, that following from a cultural definition redefinition that happened 50 years ago, is the problem. The legal redefinition is a consequence of the cultural redefinition that happened a while ago. And deterioration of families is not going to come because we are allowing homosexual marriages.
Do you have any brothers or sisters by chance?
Yes, I have a little sister.
If when she gets older she happens to be gay, do you not want her to get married if she finds a woman?
I don't think that would be the best thing for her. No.
Why is that?
Because I think that in doing so, it's. Sorry, I'm.
Take your time.
Okay,
Because it sounds like you're essentially choosing for her who she could be with and who she can't based on, 10,000 years ago and sociology.
Not necessarily. What I'm saying is that I don't think, based on how humans are, this does come from my religious beliefs. I admit this comes from the way that I look at the world. I think that two women getting married, or say if I were interested in another man, that would be against my interest, because that is not how humans are. That is not how humans work. That is not generally how they should work. Now, I realize that there are exceptions, and I think that homosexuality comes from a biological thing, but I don't think that is necessarily something that should be encouraged.
Do you think your beliefs and what you and your church have taught you over however old you are, it's right that should be imposed into federal law for people who don't believe that?
I think that not because it's my religious belief. I would agree with you on that. I should not impose something on people because it is my religious belief. But I think that as a matter of social policy, that allowing homosexual unions is not a good thing, and it is a consequence of the way that we have looked at heterosexual marriage. And I think that continuing to redefine marriage in that way is not going to help the problem of families deteriorating.